Ah, here we go.
There we go.
My first ever live, hence the little delay there. So yes, I just want to firstly welcome people who are watching it on a record, but we are doing it live. So if you want to put some comments in live, we'll try and add your comments any sort of as we go. But anyway, right, here we go. So yes, Raymond, do you want to introduce it, because you are going to coach me? That's the main thing we're going to do, and then I'm going to coach you a little bit with the working out.
Yes, that's how I'd like to do it. So, after, I don't know if you saw Bart's and Jess's pictures by any chance, that they were phenomenal. And I was like thinking to myself, it'd be really nice if we got, you're almost three, you're 3 years in something carnivore. And it would be interesting to go through this schedule and just to see what would happen, right? And of course, I'm going to join you into this Chisel also. So I will be priming alongside with you. So that'll be exciting. Now, already what's going through my head is already all the excuses. So I already ate this morning. Hopefully you did too, to start it properly. But yes, so pretty much both of us are going to do a Chisel program. I will be doing incorporating some workouts that Steven's going to advise me to do throughout this workout. So we're going to see how this goes for both of us. Also, what I recommend is also pictures. I took my pictures this morning so that way we can have a judgment. And we're mostly looking for body composition changes within the 3 months. And if we have any extra health benefits, all the better.
Yes. And one of the things that I've had to do, and I mentioned this to Raymond, is eat some of the things that I advise people not to eat to put on a little bit of weight. Because I use Sean Baker as an example. If he was doing this, the before and afters would be so good. You wouldn't have a big reveal. So I've deliberately eaten things that I think trip me up. So today I've had a couple of coffees with caffeine in, which I'm not happy about already. I can feel that I'm a little bit charged. I've been eating yogurt, which is a dairy product, which I'm going to share this with you, Raymond, actually, because it is really interesting. I've not eaten yogurt for nearly 3 years, and I started eating it a couple of weeks ago just to put on a little bit of extra weight, because dairy does definitely do that to me, and I have craved it. So those cravings that are totally gone from not eating it and eating properly on carnivore, little bit of yogurt came, wow, I'm going to go and get some of this tomorrow. And I've deliberately given in to the things. I'm trying to cheat this. I'm trying to be real. And if I didn't crave it, I would tell you, because there's no point in doing this experiment and just making up as we go along. So I've been really surprised, and I've had to this week deliberately not eat it and go out of my way to use willpower, which was something I wasn't using before because it wasn't even in my head to eat. So I've been surprised by that, how just a little bit triggered me. So I've been, like I say, a bit of yogurt. And another thing that I have a lot of people that I coach say to me is a square of dark chocolate okay? Mm-hmm. So I've had a square of dark chocolate every day.
Wow, Stephen.
Yeah, no, I'm being honest here, because it's what people say to me. And I say, well, even that little thing is not good. And I can guarantee that's the worst thing I've done, because boy, that really so it's one square, 90% dark chocolate, that really kicked in that craving. So this way of eating now, doing the challenge and being really sort of honest about everything, I want people to see the difference. And I will be really truthful, because behind the scenes, when I spoke to Raymond, he said, are you happy to put yourself up? What if things go wrong? And I said, well, I live in the real world. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But I'm going to say that it goes wrong, because I have clients where they have the best intention in the world, absolutely, really, really want to do this, and something comes up, their job changes, illness in the family, the kids are having troubles at school or whatever, and it changes the dynamic for them. And I want to include that. So at the moment, I'm adding an honours part to my science degree, lot of stress for that. Obviously, doing the online coaching, well, still training, obviously doing my rehab, building that up after 2 years of not being able to see people face to face. So huge stresses in my life, but you know, I want to be open and honest about that as well, and hopefully that will come through. And if I have a bad week, I'm going to have a bad week, and Raymond is going to coach me because, you know, Raymond, you are a coach that I absolutely admire so much. I love what you say in the meetings. I respect everything you say. I think we're on the same planet with so many things. It's incredible. So, you know, putting my trust in your hands, because I feel that this is really, you know, I can't wait. I just cannot wait to do the whole 12 weeks and really, really nail it.
Yeah, so this is going to be great. So the first objective, since now that you've added a little bit of coffee also, so I want to say make sure you eat before your coffee. The first meal is the most important. This morning I should have eaten, but I went straight to jujitsu. So, you know, but I'm priming. I should eat first, because then it's easy to get 3 meals in. Now I'm going to struggle to get my 3 meals in properly, but I will get my 3 meals in today, whether I have to eat late or not. So that's actually the ticket. Now it's eating as comfortably stuffed as possible. So every meal will be comfortably stuffed. And if you feel like snacking, this is the time to do it. So now that you awakened some cravings, it's okay to use dairy. Dairy, we like it to use as far as, like, for example, the yogurt. Make sure you have a meaty meal next to it. It's a side dish. So that just encourages your eating even more. Be ready to gain a few pounds. We're both going to do it. So that's why the pictures are going to be very handy. So hopefully you're okay with that. But
Yes.
when we get to the fasting, you'll actually be begging for the fasting. At least I do. I'm like, oh my gosh, after 2 weeks, it won't take that long for me. After a week, I'll feel that way. But I usually push through. And to me, a lot of people would ask, you know, what am I trying to prove on this? You know, why would I do this to myself? The way I see it, the carnivore diet, we could look at levels of toxicity, right? And the way I see it is meat is a non-toxin. It's a food for us. So what would happen is, if we just push ourselves from eating a whole lot more than we can, is that the body will tell us eventually, no matter how broken you are, that, okay, I've had enough. I just can't keep going. And if you can keep going and doing it, that means your body's going to need it and use it. And that's what we tell our clients all the time. We are not on a calorie restriction diet. We are on a carnivore diet. With a carnivore diet, we should be able to take this on, and it's going to actually thank us later for it. And that's the concept. So again, I'm talking for all the folks out there, not really to Stephen. We are like minds, and we want to do this experiment live. So that way there's, you know, if it goes bad, it goes bad. You guys will get to see it. It'll be entertaining, right, Stephen?
Yeah. I mean, when I did the carnivore challenge in my own head, when I just thought I'm going to do 30 days, I just was instinctive. I didn't prime. And here I am nearly 3 years later, looking at it and still getting benefits. But I really think this is going to be a game changer for me. I think it's going to take me up a level. Now, one of the things I know you've spoken about, Dr. Chafee's spoken about as well, is the 5%. You know, if you're doing 95% carnivore and then you go to 100%, is it a 5% improvement? And I don't think it is. And I think already sort of reversed engineered that by just adding things which actually are kind of like yogurt and things that aren't, which is like the caffeine in the coffee and also the 1 square of dark chocolate. And I think just taking those out will make a difference straight away. Absolutely straight away. So I'm going to clarify. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm not going to use my knowledge. I'm going to ask questions that maybe I know the answer to, but I think we should ask them because other people might have these questions. So let's get this clear. So when I first wake up, is drinking some water okay, or do I need to eat before any fluids whatsoever?
Yeah, I would prefer the first thing to do is eat first. Eat first, then fluids. That's the preference. But there are some people that's like, I wake up super thirsty. I have to have a drink first. Okay, fine. Then I'm going to say that's okay. But for you, if you can actually cook yourself up a meal, eat, because believe it or not, right when you start eating, the thirst starts going away anyways. At least it does for me. So and then drink meanwhile you're eating is fine also. So I'm not actually encouraging drinking after the meal. I'm encouraging drinking with the meal. That helps it go down very well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And is there a particular time you want me to try and not eat when I get up in the morning? Do you feel that there's an optimal time to start eating, or do you want me to just eat as soon as I feel hungry? This
Great
priming
question.
period.
So first of all, there should be no hunger. So the idea of priming is you're never hungry. You're eating pretty much well way before hunger would reach. So you know how it is. You can wait about an hour and then your appetite starts coming in. You don't want that. You want to eat well before that. So you're training your body to have to eat when you're not hungry. And when you do that, you start learning new things about your body. You start understanding how what food is all about because you're not eating for hunger. So you're actually observing it in a different way. So the mental part of this is amazing because you're like, I can, how much, first of all, you'll notice how much you can actually eat when not hungry. So you're
Mhm.
surprised about that. You're like, wait a minute, how is that? Right? I'm not even hungry, but I ate my whole plate and then some. I ate overly stuffed. And then you'll see doing that throughout the day, but you're just never hungry.
Yeah, that's cool. So, when do I know to stop eating?
Your body won't tell you when to stop eating.
Yes.
So let's put it this way: you're eating so much that I want to say when you eat till you're full, that's when you know you start. That's when your beginning of your journey comes in.
Mm.
Then you're kind of just keep on putting stuff into your mouth until you just can't anymore. And you look at that fork and you're just like throwing it on the ground and like, all right, I'm done. I just can't do anymore. So you're eating until you absolutely cannot anymore.
Brilliant. And do you advise me sticking with just beef, or can I have some poultry? I mean, I like fish. I love salmon, those sort of things. I think these are, and eggs, obviously, I love. Is it acceptable to have anything that's carnivore?
All carnivore food is open, and also all carnivore snacks is open during this time. And of course, you know about the clean ingredients, so we don't even need to go there. So, yeah, for the folks out there, just be careful. Anything with OSIS, try to avoid. But the idea is getting as much nutrition as possible in. I want to say there is a caveat. Since you're doing 3+ meals a day, what happens is if you eat that first thing in the morning and you feel perhaps a little peckish an hour later, that's when you do a top off. Top off means you just have a little bit of snack to the point where you just top it off where there is absolutely no hunger. I don't want you to ever be hungry. So every time you eat, you're not hungry. So lunchtime comes, you're not hungry, you're eating. And then let's say 2 or 3 hours later, you notice that, hey, I'm feeling a little bit hungry, but it's a little too far ahead, but
Mm.
too far from dinner. Go ahead and eat a full meal, but still put in your dinner. So if it takes four meals, that's fine. If you need more than 3 meals, that's fine. So that's where your judgment goes on how many meals per day. I have some people doing 5 meals a day, depending on their
Fabulous.
stomach capacity. Yeah, that's right.
And would you recommend having a time? So I don't. I get up quite early. Do you think I should eat at 8, 12, 4, and then 8
I,
again?
I like that. Great question. And that's exactly right. I totally insist on the whole breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Absolutely. So time is irrelevant because we have late shift workers that I work with. So just think breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Somehow you're putting in those 3 meals.
That's fabulous. So I am aware of people watching. Okay. So what about? I mean, I'm lucky because I do a lot of stuff online. So I'm at home, PT. I do a lot of that online. So I'm lucky enough to be able to probably eat at those times and have access to an air fryer and all the food I want. What if I was working in an office? Well, how would I manage that?
That's right. So I have a lot of clients that also like during the lunch hour, they just don't have time to eat that kind of volume. And I tell them that's fine. Go ahead and eat as much as you can in the morning. Wait until you get home, but still have that third meal even later. Now, that can cause a little bit of digestive distress a little later on, but that's fine. We'll not focus on that right now. So there's going to be a little level of discomfort because of that timing of eating right before bed. But I would say do it that way because you want as big of a volume as you can. So the other trick that you can do at work is bring your container, eat your lunch, even though it's like maybe a short amount of time that you have, that have a lot of snacks where you're just constantly eating, if that's possible, eating at your desk. If it's not, you're better off waiting until you get home to eat.
And this period is called priming, and it's going to take about 2 weeks. How will I know when I've done with priming? What will happen to me, Raymond?
So what will happen is you are incapable of putting these 3 meals in.
Okay.
I mean, literally, you're just like, I just cannot do it. Absolutely cannot. So you'll notice at first you can do it. You'll notice that for you, Stephen, you'll probably notice that within the first 3 days. And then what you'll start noticing is that your meals on your last one starts getting smaller. So you really have to pay attention to that. So you actually have to force yourself a little bit to actually get it bigger. And then eventually your body starts adapting to that and starts expecting those meals. And then, so it goes through a cycle. So then all of a sudden you start finding yourself hungry in the morning first. But then at the end, this is where it's just like, I just don't want to eat. And you have this, I don't want to eat part. I couldn't care less if I ate that whole day or not. But then you notice that you can still comfortably eat 2 meals, even though if you're not hungry during that time either. That you can comfortably eat 2 meals.
Okay, and obviously during the coaching session, I'll give you feedback next week, and you might say, "Wow, that sounds like you've primed. You know, you've got there, but you didn't know you had." So,
but I'll be pushing you to go for the full 2 weeks. You know that, right?
Right. Can I just say for the people in the live, if Emily, if you've got questions, it's difficult for me to engage with Raymond as a coach. Being coach, sorry, and answer the questions in the chat. But Emily's there, so Emily is kind of answering some of the questions that are coming up in the live. So this is the thing. What are we going to do with if, for instance, I wake up and 4 days in, I actually can't eat anything without feeling sick. It's like, oh wow, because we've got a meat aversion. Oh, I can't eat today. It's just. Would that mean I've primed and I'm there already? I've got that stage. Or would it be something I'm doing wrong?
No, not at all. So there will be points where, first of all, life gets in the way. There will be points where you feel ill, you catch something, whether it's COVID or whatever, and that does stop it. So whenever we feel ill, we have to get back to our strong constitution. And then try it again. But I wouldn't advise the full 2 weeks again. All of this little cumulative stuff that you're doing adds up, and it will help later on down the road. You could almost resume it after you're done being sick.
Cool. Okay. Since I've been carnivore, actually, since I've been low carb, so we're talking nearly 8 years now. I've not been to the doctor. I've not had a day off sick. So it's going to be very interesting to see if priming actually pushes my immune system or makes any big difference to me. I personally don't think it will. And I possibly think, for people who are watching this that are on the standard American diet, thinking of carnivore, I believe you'll probably have a different reaction. I don't know. Obviously, we're all very different. So I will be as honest as I can about how I feel. One of the things I don't think will happen to me is that particular thing. I don't think I'm going to feel sick. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to have problems with bowel movements. But that is something that you encounter a few times. Is that true?
I do. Absolutely. So, for example, with Bart, he had that issue with his switching his diet a little too quickly, and then he had this uneasiness of going to the bathroom bloody. So because of his UC, and I do see certain resurfacing of old issues that does happen.
Okay. So just for the people that are commenting, there's an echo. This is partly to do with the fact that I have terrible hearing, and I have to have Raymond on a very loud speaker. So I will try and sort that out for next week when Raymond's talking, that there won't be an echo. So I'm really excited. I mean, It's very basic, isn't it, Raymond? Is there more I need to know, or do you think I've asked all the right questions? Do you think I'm ready for this?
Well, the best part about this is really the experience that you're going to get out of it. By next week when we talk, I would love to hear your experience going through it. What I'd like for you to do is take a mental note of how you're feeling through this process and what you're learning along the way. So overfeeding ourselves well, I a lot of people call it that, but it's really not that. I mean, we never say that on a sad diet, right? You're just eating. But we learn something very deep within ourselves when we actually try to feed ourselves when we're not hungry. So I want to hear your take on that. And I want to hear your take about your workout too, because that's the other part that's going to be very interesting is how well will you work out? Is it going to actually hinder performance? Will it increase it? So this is where I wanted you to actually get us a great workout program that goes together with this process.
Cool. Okay. So you are actually going to do the workouts, Raymond, are you?
I am. I'd like to.
Okay. Right. And what is your goal from the workouts?
Well, I have the X3 bar. So what is my goal for the workout? Actually, do I have to have a goal?
No, but I think we're showing people broadly, when we talk about exercise, I always ask as a question. So most people would say, if I put words into your mouth, but most people say, well, I want a little bit more muscle. Women tend to say, I'm worried about my bone density. I don't want to get osteoporosis. So there's all these different things. Some people just say, I want to look good. My speed goes, which is great as well. But I think when we talk about exercise, one thing I make clear is we won't be exercising to do fat loss. We will be exercising for strength, for bone health, for joint health. If and I'm going to a stupid example. If I said, "What is your goal, Raymond?" and you said, "I want to run 26 miles in as fast as possible," then the X3 bar is not going to get you there because it's not specific training. So, although it seems a bit silly that I'm saying that, we do have people that want to be really good runners, and they picked up on the fact that strength training seems to be really popular in the community. That's a different training, so you wouldn't do this. But for most people, they want to gain a little bit of muscle. They want to look good in clothes, want to look good naked, which Valerie has just said in the chat. They want to tone stuff up, and a lot of men want to see their abs. Women want to lose the muffin top and all that sort of stuff. So when we talk about body composition, there will be changes, but those last two, like the muffin top and seeing your abs, that is going to be nutrition. But muscle size, for instance, is going to come from the strength training, and we're not talking insane amounts of working out. It's just, like I say, 12, 15 minutes. And if we're both doing the X3 bar, that's perfect because we will be doing the same workout. And for you, that's the thing. You've got a little bit of inside knowledge because you've done it a bit, but just for people that don't know what the X3 bar is, it's just resistance bands, a plate and a bar. You can mimic these exercises with other resistance bands. I would say the X3 is particularly good. I've trained all my life since I was 14, so that's a long time, and I've tried everything. The TRX, I've tried dumbbells, kettlebells, machines, free weights, and barbells, everything. And the X3 has been the thing that's the best for me. But it doesn't mean if you haven't got an X3 you can't do this, because all the workouts are based on simple principles. So what you'll be doing, Raymond, is short workouts. You've got the program, but I will do it for the people that haven't got the program. So first day is going to be a push day, and you're going to do one set of chest press, which literally is getting the band and see, it's a push exercise. So you're pushing out, working your chest, one set to fatigue. If you get to 40 reps, you're not using the big enough band. You need to go up a weight. So that's like the guidance. You want to do more than 15 reps, and you want to be under 40. If you get to 40, go up. Sadly, or in a great way, depends how you look at it, I've got to the elite band, there is no band to go up to. But at the moment, I can still only do 20 reps with the elite band. So I've still got a little bit of leeway. But other exercises, so for instance, the shoulder press, and I'm going to be honest, PT, I think I'm pretty strong. But for the shoulder, I'm still using the first band.
Okay, so that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm doing 27 reps with that on that first band. I could possibly go up to the next band if my ego wanted me to do that.
Right.
But I actually trying to get to 40 before I go up. So I sort of tend to stick to rules that have worked for me in other areas.
So Stephen, should I do it daily?
Well, this is every other day.
I'm at the push pull. So push one day, pull the other day. But do I do this daily?
Yeah. Then you just repeat.
Yes. Do I do it daily though? Until we see each other next?
Well, you do a push day on a Monday and pull day on a Tuesday.
Right.
Push on a Wednesday, pull day on a Thursday.
Okay, I'll do that. Stephen, I'm sorry, I have a coaching call, so I'm gonna have to.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
Well, all I was going to you the workouts that I have on Bella's site, Steak and Butter site, they have other equipment, so you can see the way to work out with other equipment there as well.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm going to check that out. But sorry about that. But like I told you, we were like right at the end.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. All right.
See you next week.
All right. See you next week.
Well, that was good. So I'm just going to say thank you for everybody who's turned up and thank you for being live. And I was trying to answer the questions in the chat, so I do appreciate it. I've noticed that doing a live, I look like I've been in the sun a bit too much today. So anyway, if you've enjoyed that, if you've got tons of questions, feel free to email me. I'm going to put my email in the chat box. If you want to follow up, that's fine. I will be as honest as possible. I forgot about the photos. I haven't got the photos at the moment. I need to speak to Bella about doing sort of like a thumbnail. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. I've now got to go and stand in my pants and have some photographs taken. And you'll definitely see where the yogurt and the square of chocolate and the caffeine has had a little bit of an effect on me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to have some thumbs up, some people subscribing, some comments. That'd be great. Cheers. Bye-bye.